number 10 is just moderating walks. So if you're noticing your dog is struggling on walks, just cut them down a bit, maybe do more frequent but shorter, or make sure you're doing them on the flat. Don't push them too hard. If they're struggling, you've done too far. So cut it down, make it manageable. And if you aren't sure about what length you're doing, speak to your vet or speak to a physio. Your number 9.
If you have got a giant breed or a large breed puppy, please make sure that you are balancing its diet correctly, whether that is by choosing something that's got large breed written on the front or by consulting somebody that knows, because it will save you a world of expensive drugs when they're older.
My number 8 is sometimes when we're out on walks, when you've got an arthritic dog, other dogs can run over, or people aren't very aware of how to behave around them. I would highly recommend getting either one of our cam bandanas, which you can get and pop on your dog, and just something visual on the lead, maybe just to show that your dog is arthritic. There's some brilliant leads that say, I'm arthritic, give me space, or whatever it might be, because there's nothing worse than your dog being bowled over by that really exuberant, lovely puppy who wants to play, but actually it's really not doing your dog any favours at all and will cause behavioural issues. So that's my number 8.
If you're going to buy a supplement for an arthritic dog and you don't know what to buy a good quality omega-3 with high levels of EPA. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a dog one either, but I think that is definitely my top nutrition tip for osteoarthritis.
Yeah, brilliant. My number 6 is going to be if you've noticed signs your pet's changed in behaviour, and that could be anything. Could be a recent one we had on Holly's Army was that their dog's more anxious at night, or could be pacing, or could be doesn't want to play. Millions of reasons. Please go and have a chat with your vet, because it's very highly likely that there's some pain going on. So dogs don't change behaviour for no reason. They generally change because there's something underlying it. So definitely go and have a chat with your vet. Your number 5.
If you're having trouble with the cost of arthritic dogs, I think that's what I was going to say, is that you might genuinely be better off going for a pre-formulated product. Don't assume that buying a whole bucket of supplements is going to be a better idea. I think make sure that you consider using a pre-existing product if finance is going to be an issue, and don't get frightened off by the price of the bag.
Yeah.
Or the tray, in fact.
Yeah. My number 4 is going to be that enrichment's really important, and when dogs get older, their lives get a little bit smaller. They're not able to explore as far, and maybe they don't go out with you as often in the day, and all those sorts of things. So don't be afraid to buy toys, do loads of games with them at home. You can do really, really cheap ones with loo rolls and bags, and you don't need to make it expensive at all. And you don't need to specifically feed, you can take a portion out of their normal food. Maybe a bit harder if you've got very sloppy wet food or meat-based diet, but in general, use a bit of your food and split it and have treats in the day, because that will be really nice enrichment for them. Your number 3.
If you want to give your dog something that might be beneficial to their arthritis, but you don't want to spend any money, then use fruit and vegetables. Use fruit and vegetables, dried berries, to try and increase the number of antioxidants they're taking in. Because the fact is, how much stuff do we throw away every week out of your fridge because you've got too much of it? Just cook it or blend it up and add it to the dog food, because I think we undervalue in dogs, because we're so we feed an awful lot of processed things. I think we sometimes undervalue the value of real antioxidants, and that's so easy and usually is going to cost you no money at all.
Yeah, absolutely. My number 2 is to use the It's My Home 2 tool on Cam. We have this great tool where you can go through and work out ways that you can change the home environment to improve it for your pet. Lynn's actually tagged more rugs, less drugs, which is so true. Slippery floors can be a real pain. It's a nightmare, because when you've got a young dog, carpets are the worst because they poo all over it. So you get rid of all the carpets, and then as they get older, all they need is carpet, and the slippery floor is a nightmare. Yeah. So and it's not nice to seeing them skidding around. So do just use rugs that are easy to clean. That would be a big tip of mine. And you're number 1.
Yeah.
Last one.
Okay. I think we need to take great care as the dogs get older to make sure that they don't gain weight, because it has a huge impact on their arthritis. So, and it's very easy to say, okay, I get it a lot in consults. People say, well, my dog's got an overweight, but it's okay, he's old. And actually, I think the opposite is true. I think we need to be very serious about the fact that getting 5 kilos off an overweight Labrador will vastly improve their mobility and will hugely decrease the pain that they're in. So I think, number one, don't be fat.
And like it's like a cheesy thing to say, but age is just a number. It doesn't mean anything. And if you've got an arthritic dog, you might meet them at 16. But if you do well with management, they can live another number of years. So, you know, especially if they're not got any health issues. So
exactly.